What's happening, guys? Welcome back to episode 20 of the walkthrough for Demon Souls. So before we get going this episode, just to kind of touch base on a few things, at this point, World 2, 3, and 5 should be completely wrapped up, including World Tendency events. We have no further use of these worlds. They are done. So with that, the only thing that's left is what we're going to be doing this episode with closing out World 4, and then we have the last area of World 1, which pushes you to your bosses, and obviously we have our Tendency events. Now, we've already knocked out all of our World Tendency events, we'll do a shorter episode next episode to wrap up the tendency events in World 4. But after that, it's just character tendency and, the last area of the game with the World Tendency events over there. So, like I said, we're getting really close at this point. So, like I said, with all the other areas done, we'll be able to jump back to the ritual path. Now, hopefully, you guys have followed through the series because there is quite a bit we have done here. Opening up some farms for upgrades for decks and magic builds, and also opening up a really good soul farm. So, when you first go down, there should be a stone of ephemeral eyes over there on your left hand side, and on the right, we're going to have a stored warrior soul, which I did not pick up because we weren't really doing the area. I was just kind of unlocking farms and grabbing a few things people might want. But you also had Patch's quest line down here. You had Saint Urbain's quest line. We've already covered these things, so it's no longer going to be here because we had to get, wanted to get spells for your build, and you wouldn't be able to do so without these quest lines done. So even though we're not needing to farm, killing him does still kill everybody else. It makes life easier. There's going to be some poison kunai right there we've already picked up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll on down to the altar. Because, like I said, there's no need to take those other stairs. Then going on down your main stairs here, just to briefly cover this. If you turn around to your left hand side, there's going to be one item right here. Unknown Warrior. Then you would have came in here, Patches would have been here. Hey, you look down this hole. You look down the hole, he pushes you. This is a weapon we're going to get in tendencies, so don't worry about that. But you would meet Saint Urbain right here. He'd be scared of the Red Phantom guy, so you'd have to go kill him, come back, talk to the Saint. Then that would send him back to the Nexus, so you could trade boss souls for miracles. So once again, we've already covered all this. Now, once you were to get that caught up, you're looking for this door right here. Then you'd follow these stairs on up. There was an item right here, but it was in the notes for that episode when we originally did this, so I couldn't tell you what it is now. Probably soul or ephemeral eyes if I was to take a guess. Now, before we go over to our next area, right here, Moonshade, and then we're going to go to the far stairs. Now, this is something else we've shown off recently, Unknown Warrior Soul right here, but once you go up the second flight of stairs, there's going to be an illusionary wall. Now, this was a farm for dex builds, so you guys can get Bladestone chunks from the skeleton. I mean, farming's farming. You don't know if you're going to get it every time or when you're going to get it, but you can get your Bladestone chunks from him. And then if you were to push the world into pure black, you would have been able to get pure Bladestone from him to fully max out your weapons. Now, we're going to go, Black World Sensei here shortly. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Obviously, you want your weapon upgrade. Then you have to figure a way to bring the world back to pure white and be difficult to do without online play. But, it's just information I want to make sure we share so you guys can make your own choices. Plus, I mean, you have 3 playthroughs anyway, so if you want to upgrade your weapons, you're like, I'll do my pure white events for this in my next playthrough. You can do that too, Takes 3 for your platinum, so. Now, we showed a way to do all 10 events in a single playthrough, but you guys got to remember how careful we've been the whole time. Been very careful. We've done things in a very, very specific manner all the way through. So either way, before we press on, over here is going to get you the white bow and your white arrows. Pretty unique setup. Ooh, not nice. Yep. So the mana rays are going to get much worse as you progress because the final boss, your Archdemon, is essentially just a big version of them, big ass mana rays. So the closer you get, these are going to be like his guards kind of protecting him as you run around the outskirts. Even though we got a little bit left before we get there, you're getting close. So as we go back up, make sure not to go out, not to go down. We still want to progress all the way up. Now there's a trap, so be very careful. That would have killed us most likely. But from there, all you gotta do is drop. Full moon, then hit your switch. Just kind of loops around a perfect little circle. Moonshade. He's gonna drop that every single time you kill him. We've called that out before. For those magic builds wanting to use like curved swords, because like I said, for Crescent you got to use curved swords. All your other magic weapons are going to be moon. Only very specific weapons can even go down the Crescent path. But if you're doing like curved swords, something like Crescent Falchion, which you already have, that's what you'd use. Alright, Chill it out a bit. Okay. You gotta really be careful here. For some reason, they're able to break your stance and stun lock you like way better than they've been able to do the whole time. And it's quite annoying. Thank you. Now this is where things get a little bit more tricky. Because there's a couple big guys and you got your mana raise. They'll probably hit us a time or two. Yeah, we'll deal with it. It's not that bad. Let's just try to pull one over at a time here. Now, if we die, I'm just going to run past these guys. I'm not worried about it, but there is items. Our damage isn't so shabby anymore either. Now, our weapon isn't as high as damage as like Dragon Bone Smasher, but it's pure magic, so it more than makes up for it. 300 magic damage coming out is, you know, the equivalent of like 450 physical, I would say. It's up there. It's up there. As you see, we're kind of smacking these guys around. My other shield would probably be better. Yeah, that's going to do that. This has better magic resistance, and that's what we're up against. But I don't want my stance being broken, is the thing. No, no, no. Oh, don't roll off the edge there, bro. Don't roll off the fucking edge. Thank you. Like I said, if you get killed, it's pretty wide right here. I would just try to roll past the guys. If you want to kill them every time or feel like you need to, sure. But don't feel like you have to, is the thing. No, I'm just going to have to switch out my shields as we go. We're going to want that magic protection at times, but we don't want our stance broken while we're dealing with the skeletons. So you have more Reapers, so now the Reapers are kind of buried behind the guys that they summon, and the guys that they summon are going to be using like magic lasers, like that, which is right there. And while you can dodge to do it, it's really tricky on the stairs. So what we're going to do is just avoid these guys, because our Reapers can be right past them. So hopefully we can just kind of run quickly here. Dodge. Don't even worry about him. Go over here to your right. Knock him right off. That's going to kill him. Just sit here for a second. It will take them a minute to go away. Just wait for your souls. There you go. So we know they're dead. Now there's like some invisible guys here that will knock you. Where is it? He's usually right here somewhere. You can't see him. Alright. I don't see him popping up yet. So there are these smaller invisible spirits that will try to knock you into the boss arena, which is what you see under you, but it's going to kill you. So you want to be really careful with this. I don't see them just yet, but they're here. They're really short, like 4 foot tall. Not big guys, but they can be a little irritating. In fact, there should be a few right here. Once again, I never see them, but I know they're here. As soon as you pick up the item, you'll see them, guaranteed. Where are they? There they are. Yeah, they'll stagger their attacks too, so. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? So just be careful. Because they will knock you off very, very quickly. Very easily with minimal effort. Not nice. It's the same thing. When you get to this next area, you're going to have your little ghostly dudes again, and the Reaper is behind them. It might be better to take these guys out as you go, because I actually got cornered over here by this guy and the Reaper before, and yeah, it's not fun. They're going to put you down really, really easily. So just take him out from range. It's going to take a few shots, but it's definitely the safer approach by far. Now the Reaper's going to be like right to your left. Yeah, he just did so much fucking damage. Yeah, it's going to do a lot more damage to him. I guess I should just put on the fire sword for a second. Whatever, you know, whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes. Yeah, so we're not worried about going that way. We're head on down to the cave. So if you're doing like a physical build and you want to get like a bunch of buffs to buff your weapon with magic, your sticky white slime, you could actually get a lot of that over here. And it's, you know, it's really good for certain bosses because like everybody's weak to magic. Some people are weak to fire. They have very, very specific weaknesses to fire, but all in all, everybody's weak to magic. So that should have been that casket you probably would have seen from up top. So sticky white slime. You're gonna see these spirits kind of floating around at you. So you're gonna try to maneuver around them, but then you also got these slugs. Now, pretty much every time you kill these guys, you're gonna get your sticky white slime. Be careful with those spirits. Like I said, it's just a good way to stock this up, because if you want to buy this, it's like 2,000-3,000 a pop. It's just free here. Yeah, watch out. Although we can, just heal through it. Try not to get caught if you don't have to. And all we're doing is just going, little section by section here to ensure you don't miss anything. And once again, all it is a bunch of slime. That's really it. As I said, it's pretty much guaranteed. You could get a few upgrade mats. It's not guaranteed, but you could get a few. Like that one that was there, we just picked up that chunk. That's actually like, an item that's here to pick up. That wasn't like a chance drop or anything. That was, just kind of down here. So we're all guaranteed to get that upgrade at least. Just remember, if you go to an area where these guys are still alive, that's why I say just kill them as you go through. That way if you see any, you're like, okay, I haven't been there yet, right? Easier to keep track. Thank you. Ooh. Good. Heal, heal, heal. So the hitless is a katana. You get one there, but you're going to have another one that you'll pick up next episode. Your sucker stones. This is for blood loss builds. For someone that's trying to do that kind of weapon. Bring up a weapon with blood loss on it. It should have pretty much brought us full circle at that point. So now we should just be going up. Yep, there's the other side of the casket. Ooh. I don't know. I understand that time that we were close enough to him, but the time before it did not feel like we were close enough at all. So this is where you came in at. Now we're just kind of sticking to the top portion of it. Don't get too close to him. It's just like those lights that were in the Tunnel City, if you guys remember. Same shit. Don't get too close. Like that. Okay. We're good. I was double checking. We're good. Alright, so this is going to be your next boss, the old hero. He's actually blind, and he's got some pretty big, beefy hits, but if you were to go in here, which I hope you didn't one-shot us taking off the cling, but I want my armor on. But if you were to go in here with, like, the thief ring, it's almost like a cheese. It's going to be really hard for him to even get to you. So, Legendary Warrior Soul. Anything else we'll pick up later. But yeah, he's blind, so thief ring's going to, impair that even more. And it's going to make it really hard for him to detect you, where we can just try to stay behind him and beat on him. That's all you want to do here. It's actually one of the easier fights in the game, to set up. Although my first playthrough, this guy did kill me a couple times, but I didn't know this, This stuff you kind of find out from time with the game, or going through taking notes and trying things out. Yeah, my first time I didn't know, and he just kind of hit me a couple times. I was like, oh shit, that's a horrible run back, I feel like I should have just got rid of my armor and kept the gling ring. Alright, so like I said, we got to get behind him. He is blind. Yeah, just be careful. Like I said, we took off cling. Hopefully you guys didn't. For your new player, keep on your cling ring just in case. But yeah, it's just like a helpless little baby. You know what I mean? Look at him, he can't do shit. He's doing wrong damn way. Now, if he doesn't, make sure to... Whoa, whoa, whoa. We were behind you. Yeah, I was about to say, if not, make sure you actually get behind him, obviously. Pull him over this way a bit. He's definitely a wild boy. Now he's back, you know, to not being able to see us. That's one thing, but he does kind of spaz out every direction. Got quite a bit of distance as well. But you see that? We're just walking right past him. Dude's blind. You know, dude's blind. But that's the thing, though. He gets lined up with you. It's a different fight, but you notice how he kind of settles back down. We don't want him to get to the wall, because then he will turn around. Oh, God. I didn't even see that swipe. This is not what we want. One more. I mean, 2 hits, you're dead. We could play this safe by putting back on the clean ring, I guess. But we definitely want that thief ring on. Yeah, because I could just do... Where are you? Like I said, just to play it safe, to make sure we don't get fucked up right at the end of the fight. Just wanting to keep my armor on. It's not a hard fight, but he just does a lot of damage. He happens to catch you. You see what I'm saying? Thank you. Now he's gonna give us something that's actually fucking god tier. I can't wait for it. So old hero's trophy for taking out the boss. No more, you know, no more need for good old thief ring. So we will now go put our armor back on. Yep. It just, I mean, it's not hard, but like I said, if he happens to hit you twice, you're dead. You know, he's a really big guy using a really, really, really big weapon. His boss soul is gonna give us something so OP though for Faith. It's wild. It's a spell you guys are gonna absolutely adore. So before we go any more forward, get your soul. Nexus, soul form, same thing. Then we can move forward, take out your last boss, and wrap up the area. Damn, 81,000 souls. It's about to be even higher, as we have picked up quite a few. Pop that. Ooh, storage and a legendary. Yeah, it's at almost 100,000. We're at 99 something. So nice. Put this at 30. Start working that endurance. So like I said, 30 is about as high as you really need to go. I'm gonna bring this up to like 25. I'll check and see if I can take off that ring for armor. And once I reach weight, I'll just, you know, jump back into Faith. That's a perfect end-game build, you know. 30 there, 20 there, because even physicals are going to be using self-buffs and stuff. So you're going to want 30, 20, that's perfect. 20 to 25 for most builds, and then 30 in your damage. So we've actually done absolutely phenomenal.
Art thou finished?
And I put more points into strength and dex than I probably really needed to, just for weapon requirements. Well, more points into strength than I needed to. So we could have even been the spot earlier, but yeah, we're dead on track for a literal perfect build for your first playthrough. Then going into New Game Plus, that's when you try to reach 50 health, because, you know, you still want to have a solid, like, 125 level build. So you do, like, 50 health, 50 damage if you're working one stat. If you're doing two, probably, like, 30-30. But yeah, that's what I said. By the time you get your platinum, you have a good build of what would, you know, be any other Souls game. Like, you know, you play a game like Dark Souls 3 doing quality, you're like at 40-40, you know, with 40-50 health. It takes like 3 full playthroughs because the game's just not that long, you know what I mean? But by the time you get your platinum, you have a perfect build, soul level about 125, 130, set up really nicely. Like I said, 50 health, like 40 stamina for beefy armor, 50 faith, something like that. So now, we can go on down. Talk to your boy.
Oh, is that? Do you have further?
And get something so fucking crazy. it seems like it should be a cheat. So right over here, revive user from death once, second chance. I do want to see, yeah, 2 slots. That makes sense. So what this does is, especially when we get towards the harder parts of the game, guys, what's going to happen is we can cast this, and if we die in a boss fight, it brings us back to life at 50% health. I mean, it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. What should we go with? I guess I like having on evacuate for a lot of different things. So we'll go with that. But yeah, super, 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 super good. Super good. So that's, you know, for us in our miracles. I want to double check.
Are you sure? Oh.
You have your...
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think it's just miracle. It's either miracle or souls on that one. For some reason, I couldn't remember it because that's all I had down on my notes is miracle. But I'm like, are we sure about that? I mean, because it stands out so much. You know, you want to be sure. But either way, guys, jumping on back to Altar of the Storms. So this next fight, you might as well just take off your weapons. Very much like Yorm the Giant from Dark Souls 3. If you guys have played that, where we go in, we're going to get a gimmick weapon. And it's literally the same weapon even. Storm Ruler. That's what we're going to pick up. So we're going to go and pick up the only weapon that can damage this guy. What it does is sends huge arcs of wind. And you're just going to kind of tuck off and hide. There's going to be a building up here. We're going to hide behind the wall. And we're just going to charge attacks and shoot big particles of wind at all your mana rays. Kill all of them. And then we're going to target the boss. But first you got to get to the weapon. Like I said, the closer you get to them, the more and more there are. They're all firing bullshit at us, guys. Every last one. You can pick up what you can on the way down. Oh no, this is not good. Hold on, we can hide, so it's not the worst. So this is kind of one of those ones we're just gonna do live. You know, it's not the craziest ordeal. Oh, we picked up a lot of upgrades, that's why. Then we picked up Hiltless. Yeah, we picked up a few things. How the hell are you hitting us? The dagger needs to go. We can put up dragon, shottle. Oh, we never put up blind. White bow. Yep, this does a lot of explaining for us. Yeah, that should do. That should do. I mean, so they're kind of helpless too right now until you get your weapon, but you can hear them when they're about to shoot. It's a little hectic. Like I said, there's certain things you can kind of hide behind. You got, you know, walls and stuff like that. We're gonna go all the way down to the bottom left. You can see the weapon right here. Ooh, shit. Don't worry about the crystal lizards, guys. You know, respawn in checkpoints right there. Now that we have our weapon Storm Ruler, we need to go ahead and put this on. Like I said, even has the same name. But if you notice, you do a light attack, boom, big ass arc of wind comes up. Yeah, Dark Souls 3 again. Very much a true gimmick of the fight. But now that we have this, what we're going to do is kind of go back up to that same building. You can hide behind rocks, but that building's like solid ass wall to hide behind. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Now, since we're throwing out wind, our hits will still come off, but it does allow you to kind of target these guys one by one. Unfortunately, it's going to take time, guys. There's a lot of them. It's okay. It's a big game of patience, if you will. Sometimes you get lucky and you can actually hit a few of them. It just depends how they line up. Once you have cleaned this out a bit, boss will rear his ugly head. Might even be a her. No, it's a him. Stormking, I guess. We used to fight like big dragons and shit in these games where you always think it's a guy and then you find out it's a girl. Kind of the long game. but it's going to boost. I mean, and honestly, too, guys, you got to remember, second chance. You know what I mean? So, stuff were to happen, we're good. I mean, we'll come back at 50% health, but it gives you enough time to go high or whatever you want to do. Yeah, there she is. He is. That keeps it. They're about to go ham. This is why we want behind the building. It might be better to stay inside of it. I usually go all the way behind, but you might want to just stay inside of it. Okay, we gotta get the rest of these fuckers out. So. God, that recharge takes so long. There it is. There it is. You are behind a wall, so if it's not going over that wall, if it's not close enough, it's probably, you know, it's just not going to be damaged. We can run around. You're just going to put yourself at risk. So. Like I said, we do have the last chance, so. No way that can hit. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, that should be hit. Very inconsistent fight, you're gonna notice. It's super fucking inconsistent. Yeah, just gotta get close. I don't see none of the little ones, but they're still shooting shit. I know we've thinned them out a lot. You know, it takes like your whole fucking bar of stamina. Yeah, see, I'm not really understanding. Thank you. Yeah, not really understanding why that wouldn't hit. That's better, though. Yeah, we got one more. Stay. And there you are. Okay. Gimmick fight, not hard. Even if you didn't know what was happening here, or what to do, I think as long as you found the sword, you'd be more than fine. Let's be honest. You'd be more than fine. So you are getting towards, very late in the game. Towards the end game for sure. Our level's getting up there. High chance of being evaded. So what we're going to do, grab our soul, hop out, get in soul form. Then when we do our tendency events next episode, we'll open up by just clearing this area out. I still forgot to put on that damn ring of avarice. It's okay. I mean, I'm happy with our level. Like I said, you get 30 in damage, 30 in health, 25 stamina, and enough mind to cast good support spells. That's all you need. Anything else is just extra. So I'm happy. Our stuff's looking just fine as far as I'm concerned.
Art thou finished?
Okay, we're so close, but we do not have enough. I almost want to just go hit that hit that farm real quick. Get this other soul. Let's see here. Nope, still a little heavy. What's it at? 33. Yeah, we shouldn't be that far off. I'm thinking maybe 25. Might be 28 stamina, to pull it off successfully. That's if I went with this armor set. Let's go ahead and get soul form. And I almost forgot to mention with Maiden Austria's soul, there is a weapon that's really cool. I cannot believe I forgot to mention this. It's called the Blue Blood Blade. What it does is just this badass weapon, right? But it scales off of a luck, which no other weapon does. It's very obscure, very hidden. You need to take the broken sword to the blacksmith, Well, she found one guaranteed in World 5 too, going through the Swamp of Sorrows. You also could have just got one from many enemies in the game, many weaker enemies. Yeah, you can take that over to the blacksmith with main Austria Soul, and you would have gotten Blue Blood Blade. Really cool. Definitely more of a new game plus because you haven't put any levels into luck, so it's not going to be really worth your time. Or you plan it out for a new playthrough, and then with that, you'd have to just kind of rush World 5. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm wondering if I should go ahead and use my stuff to grab that. To grab the code, because we'll get more colorless demons. We'll only have enough for one more weapon or to fully upgrade our shield. But if I just bring our shield up to like +2, that'd give us more health regen, and we can still get this trophy knocked out. So it's one of the harder ones. But either way, with that, we can get anti-magic field. Absolutely another spell. It's just absolutely broken. Create an area where magic cannot be used. So PvP especially, but any boss, anyone, that has magic, elite enemy, you're going to be able to shut all that shit down. So obviously, I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Now that's in our notes for the recommended build. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember any spells. So let's go look into this together.
Are you sure?
Pure golden heart. Nope, nothing with her. It's funny because that's kind of like a magic zone, magic and dex zones where those upgrades are. There haven't been that many magic things. It's been just a bunch of really cool faith stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just, yeah, both of those souls were just for miracles. And that's what I thought, but I was afraid to misspeak. I'm like, well, what if it's just like some sneaky ass little spell I forgot about? So before we close out, like I said, we're so close to a level. I'm just going to go grab it real quick. Then we will clear that last little patch when we do our tendency events because, looking at our time, we're at our mark. So what we're going to do, we'll grab this last level. We'll wrap up. Next episode will be our pure white and pure black tendency events. Probably a shorter episode. They typically don't take too long unless it's World fucking 3. That was horrendous because of the runaround. This is not a big area in general. So it's not that bad. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, we're pure white. But, yeah, we'll, be doing a pretty short episode, just getting all this done. Get you a pretty cool weapon. Actually, 2. Wrap up some quests. Your tendency events. Get your next phantom knocked out, which should put our character tendency 1 away from pure white. That way, when we knock out our Phantom over there in World 1, we're set up for character tendency events, then our final boss. So, I'd say about 3 episodes left. I wouldn't see it being more than that. 3, maybe 4, maybe a small episode to close out with. But, yeah, we're getting really close to this point, guys. Where the fuck did she go? She's a mover, bro. She's a fucking mover. She's steady woman, steady woman. Let's see how much it gives us every time. Where's it equip burden. So we get a pound, technically. 2 more points of stamina to get like extra pound, which ain't that much.
Art thou finished? May thy strength.
Yeah, still a little bit heavy there. 65. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot, man, just for this armor set. It's probably gonna take 40 in stamina. I'd say probably 35. That's gonna be a lot. I mean, we're fine with our damage at 30. I'm almost like, damn, should we just go ahead for the walkthrough and put on a lighter armor set and just boost our damage more? Because when we get up to 36 faith, we get a whole other miracle slot as well, so we can put on last chance, and then we can put on like anti-magic barrier. And then if we wear the ring, that gives us an additional miracle. We could have 2 heavy hitting miracles, and then like a third, like heal or evacuate or something like that. So it's definitely something to consider for you guys. But either way, with that, we're gonna wrap on up. We'll see you back here next episode to knock out all of our world tendency events for chapter 4. Then the only thing that's left is the last portion of chapter 1 and our tendency events, and that's it. So we're definitely in the home stretch, and we'll catch up back here shortly.